Well, hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee and you won't believe what I got a hold of. I was not intending to buy any more meat, but my husband and I went to Saddle Up, which is a local gas station in the Bear Lake area, to get chicken feed. And that's a whole nother story. Let me tell you about chicken feed and our chit chat. We went to get the chicken feed. And we were walking through because it was late. It wasn't like 7 o'clock at night when we finally got done painting. Well, I never put anything in the slow cooker and I never took anything out because we didn't anticipate to be gone that long. So we were just looking for something quick to eat, you know. Probably not very healthy, but quick to eat. And I saw this beautiful tenderloin. And I looked at it and I said, oh my God, sweetie. That great big tenderloin's only 16 bucks, and I look at it, it's $1.99 a pound. Well, lately I've been seeing tenderloins that are like $2.69 a pound. And I said to him last night, I said, well, I think I'll hold off because I need to organize the freezer. And that in itself is a whole nother video because I'm going to take you along with me. So I held off on it. And then, you know, this morning my husband said, I think you should get that. He says, and I think you should do a video on some freezer meals with that because they like that. And he said, and I like that. I want some, yeah, pork sounds good, he says. And I said, okay, I can do that. Well, the next thing I know, my husband left. And he come back, and this was about 6 o'clock in the morning, this morning. He come back with this beautiful tenderloin. He says, there, I went and got it for you. Now you can get it done and get it put in the freezer. So here we go. I've got 3 beautiful freezer meals that we're going to make. And hopefully, I mean, we're going to cut this up, and I'm going to show you how I do that. And my freezer meals call for 4 pork chops, which is good because with just my husband and I, with just 2 people, you know, I can take that out. We can have a dinner. My husband might eat 2 pork chops, but I'd only eat 1. And then we could have a lunch tomorrow. One of us could have lunch the next day, I mean. So I'm going to drain this because this package is real juicy and I don't want this all over my counter and my floor. So we're going to drain this in the sink and then we're going to cut this up. I don't want this. I want my big knife. I love my big knife. So let me drain this out and I will be right back to you. Okay, friends. This thing is gorgeous. So with clean hands, my counter's cleaned and sanitized because I knew I was going to have raw meat on it. Let's see. I'm going to make these just about 1 inch thick. And I need 16 of them. These are beautiful. And you know what else? That shake and bake I make, these are fabulous with it. I make that quite a bit. Let me get these out of my way. I need enough for the 3 meals. That one's a little thinner than 1 inch, but we'll get it. Excuse me, not 16, I need 12 pork chops. What am I thinking? I got 3 freezer meals that call for 4 pork chops. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It looks like we're going to have plenty to do a marinated roast too. And I usually save that for when I have company. When my daughter and the kids come. So, I got 8, 9, 10, 12 pork chops. And we got that beautiful one. I might make that into 2. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this right in half. And we'll have 2 beautiful marinated pork roasts. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. And 3 beautiful freezer meals. Let me wash up my hands. All right, this is nice. So we've got, if you count each person as a meal, friends, which I do because that's just how I do. We've got, there's 16 meals right here in 4 pork, or in 12 pork, or excuse me. I don't know what's wrong with me today. My math is, and I'm an accountant, and my math is all jacked up. One of those days. So actually we've got 12 meals right here, because you don't just eat a pork chop. When I serve these pork chops, like for example the Mexican pork chops that I'm making, I'll serve it with rice and then we'll have a side salad. That'll fill you up. And one pork chop, I'm not a big meat eater. Now my husband is. He loves his meat, and maybe he could eat 2 pork chops, but usually with the rice and the salad and all that, you get full on one. So that's like 12 meals right here. So, and then this is probably the same thing. We probably got 24 meals out of this $16 pork loin. So that's wonderful. But if you count it as meals as in freezer meals, we're going to have 5 freezer meals for $16. But it's going to feed quite a few of us. All right, so we're going to get this started. And I love these things. Absolutely. Did you guys order these, by the way? If you did, let me know in the comments. And if you like them. Okay? All right. Oh, I'm not going to touch this. Not that I've got a thing against raw meat, but I'm going to have my hands on everything else. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 4 of these in here. Actually, I'm going to do them all. And that way it's out of the way. And then I can just show you as I go bagging these. That's a beautiful pork loin. I almost wish they had 2 of them. And I got to get 2 more out for my roast. And I might just get 1 out because, no, I don't have, nobody's coming for dinner, just my husband. So that would go to waste. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to freeze them. And I am glad I got 5 of these. Absolutely. Yes, I've got to sort through my freezer. It almost looks like a nightmare in there. And I figured, you know what, I'll take you along with me so you can see everything I got crammed in there. And when we are going to get another freezer, because since I discovered that a gentleman I've known for quite some time, and how I overlooked that he sold beef, I'll never imagine, because that is the best way to get good grass-fed, grass-finished beef. It's not certified organic, but it's pretty close to organic, you know, and is by your local farmers. Wonderful. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to put 4 pork steaks or pork chops in there. Then we'll get this board out of our way. And I'll wipe this side of the counter down, and we'll be ready to get filling these bags. have no idea how much these two weigh. I should weigh them. In fact, I will. I got a beautiful scale. I'll get them weighed because then I can make that marinade according to their weight. All right, let me wash that off. Hot soapy water in my sink like always. I'm not going to steam this right now because my food isn't going to touch the table now. So I'm going to get my scale and I'm going to weigh those two. The recipe that I have calls for 3 pounds, so I can adjust the recipe accordingly. I'm not going to worry about the bag. Oh, that's 2 pounds. So I can go ahead and use that. And that's 2 pounds and a little over 2 pounds. Perfect. I can still use it for 2 to 3. It calls for a 2 to 3 pound pork loin. So I'm right within that limit. I don't have to adjust the recipe. But I do got to fix this because I don't want this to fall. Okay. All right, we're going to turn this off. I love this scale. It's a big scale. Big, beautiful scale. Okay, so these are going to go right over here, these two. And now I've got these 3 here. There we go. Okay, do you remember the Mexican corn that I canned? Wonderful stuff. This recipe for, and I'll read it off to you wherever I put it. I already know what was in it, but I write it down to make sure I get it right and so I can add it to my cookbook because all my freezer meals are going into my newest cookbook and that I'm currently working on. So with this one, it calls for like a can of corn and a can of Ro-Tel. Well, the Mexican corn is wonderful. So that's what we're going to use. And I'm not even going to drain it. I'm going to pour juice and all right in there. I'm going to do 2 cans. Maybe. All right. Oh, that smells so good. Yeah. Corn smells wonderful. Oh, and I need to get my can opener because I have a couple things I'll have to open. And this is a can of green chilies. Now you don't have to put them in there if you don't want. Some people don't like them, but I think it gives it a wonderful flavor. So we're gonna dump these green chilies in there. Okay, that's gonna go to recycling. Now we are going to put, let's see. We got garlic and cumin and salt and pepper going in here. So we're going to put a teaspoon of garlic in. That's just going to be wonderful. I never follow a recipe entirely. Sometimes I just add my own seasonings. This recipe does call for cumin, however. So, and it calls for, oh, is it a tablespoon, I think. Yep, a tablespoon of cumin. Perfect. Oh, I love the smell of cumin. Love it. All right, then I'm going to do about a good teaspoon of pepper. And about the same with salt. Good teaspoon. That's it for that one. That's how simple this is. Now when you make this, you just let it thaw out in your refrigerator overnight. And you could put it in your crock pot. You could bake it in the oven. You could put it in your Instapot. And it's best if you serve it over rice. And if you can make like Spanish rice, I guess even regular rice would be good. But it's wonderful stuff, friends. Now just get that all mixed in there, and that will marinate beautifully. I'm going to set this over here. Gosh, that looks wonderful. I'm going to set it up here because it's going to go on the tray and in the freezer. So, and that's only in case my bag breaks. If my bag breaks, then it won't be all over my freezer. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is barbecue, apple barbecue pork chops, which are just divine. And this is very simple. I'm going to open up this can of applesauce. Maybe. This only calls for a half a cup. And I don't worry about waste because I just put it in a dish and my husband always eats what's left. He likes it on his oatmeal and whatever, so it doesn't go to waste at all. I hate my hand can opener. Maybe I can get that. Nope. There. Okay. It calls for a half a cup of applesauce and a half a cup of barbecue sauce. So, dump it right in there. And I love Sweet Baby Ray's. Absolutely. It is our favorite. We're going to do a half a cup of that. We're going to dump that right on in. Dump that off. All right. Now this, I'm going to set aside because that I'm going to put in a different container for the fridge. And I'm also going to put a little bit of salt and pepper and a little bit of garlic in there. That's all optional. But garlic just is so good. My family loves garlic as much as they love pepper. A little bit of salt in there. About a half teaspoon, I would say. And of course our pepper. And I put about a good teaspoon of pepper in there. But that's, my family loves that. Oh, I made a mess. I don't want to get my bag on that. So, let me wipe that off. They say a good cook's a messy cook, huh? All right. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. Get that right out of our way. We'll be able to get this out of our way. And then we're going to seal up this bag. Let as much air out as possible. Okay. And just massage it in. Just rub it all in. Oh boy, get it all over there. And then when these thaw out in your fridge, they'll marinate as they're thawing out. They'll marinate a little as they're freezing too, because these are raw and unfrozen. Okay, so that one is all set. You want that to lay as flat as I can get it. As much of the air is out as I can. It's going to set right on top of there. All right, so we got that done. Now the last one we're going to do is, of course, my favorite, honey mustard pork chops. These are fantastic. And this one calls for a 1/4 cup of mustard, and I'm using a spicy brown mustard. I'm going to put a little bit of water in there and give that a shake because it's almost empty. There's not a whole lot left in here. I love honey. I love spicy brown mustard. So we're going to put that in there, a 1/4 cup. Beautiful. Then we're going to do a 1/4 cup of honey. Did you see that fly out of there? That was good. Was the mustard. And then we're going to do a teaspoon this is a 1/2 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. And then a little salt, pepper. Oh. I'm not going to put garlic in that one, but I am going to do salt and pepper in here. Got to have salt and pepper. These will turn out beautiful, friends. Ooh, love pepper. Okay, we got this one done. See how easy those are? They're wonderful. I'm going to let out air. And make sure it's sealed. By gosh, I did that one time. You know, and I can giggle about it now, but it was maddening when it happened because it went on the floor and wasted my meal. We're just going to mix this in here. Give them a little massage. Mix it all around so they're all coated. Looks like a hot mess in a bag, but I'll tell you, it's wonderful stuff. I'm going to flatten that one out. There we go. Okay, that's it. Now, I'll be able to label those. And then we've got these two roasts, and I'm going to marinate both of them with the same marinade. So, it'll be good. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to do that or not. I need Worcestershire sauce, lemon juice, and mustard. It's kind of a nice combination, huh? I've got lemon juice. I got lemons too. I'm going to cut up a lemon and put right in there with that. Let me wash this lemon up. That will be good in there. I'll try my hands, my little chopping board. I'm just going to cut this in thicker slices, but I'm going to get the juice out of it. How much juice does it call for? 3 tablespoons, so I'll need extra juice. Okay. Let's see here. Here we go. We're going to put our lemon juice right in there. And I'm also going to, I won't need to use any extra lemon juice because I'm going to put the lemons in there with it. And they'll be wonderful. See, so We'll just slice these up, throw them right in there. Half a lemon each. Beautiful. Now, I gotta wash my hands off. It got cold out, friends. Our weather was the craziest weather, I'm telling you. It was warm for a while. It was in the 40s, you know, high 30s, low 40s. And I was downright freezing out there. Okay, so let's see. I am going to put a tablespoon extra in there. I want it to be... This is where arthritic thumbs are not fun. If my husband was here, he'd open this for me. Maybe. Let's see. I know a lot of you can relate to this one. There we go. Had to get a good grip on it. All right, I'm going to do a tablespoon in each. And that way I'll feel confident that there's enough lemon juice in there. That'll be wonderful. That'll make it so tender. Absolutely. All right, now a tablespoon. I've got this one written down. A tablespoon and a half of the, I don't like Worcestershire sauce. I don't care for it that well. I'm only going to put a tablespoon in there. I don't know what it is about it. I'm not that fond of it. But I know it does add nice flavor. It enhances the flavor. So we'll put it in there. And 2 teaspoons of mustard. Okay. My husband did that one day. You know how you close the lid and shake the bottle to get it to the bottom? This was years ago. My husband did that. I'm going to put another squirt in there. And it was a ketchup bottle. And by golly, he shook that bottle and put the lid on it. Thought he had the lid on it. And he went just like this. He went up and he brought it down to shake it real good. And my daughter at the time, this was years ago, so she had 3 little Chihuahua dogs, and they were here with us. And he squirted that ketchup. It was all over the dogs. And those dogs freaked out and went running through the house, and oh my Lord, was it a mess. It was hilarious. I got to put salt and pepper in these. Oh, and dried parsley. A little bit of parsley. Because I have to get back down to my Amish. Well, okay, friends, my camera died on me. I did not realize it, but I did get pretty much through this. The last of the pork, I put, all I did with my pork tenderloin was put my, you see me put the parsley in it, and the only thing after that was my salt and pepper. And you just salt and pepper it to your taste. So, to cooking these. These are going to go in the freezer. And the best thing to do with these is let them thaw overnight. Okay? And you can either bake them in the oven, you can put them in your crock pot, or you can put them in your Instapot. I usually bake mine. The big pork roast, I might wind up putting them in my crock pot, you know, on high for about 5 to 7 hours, and low 4 to 5 hours, you know, 4 to 6 hours, somewhere in there. And the same with the others. But that's how easy it is to put this together for your freezer. And what a nice addition to your freezer. So now my challenge is going to be finding room in my freezer. I need to take and absolutely organize my freezer. And I might do that yet this afternoon. I'm not sure. That might be a half a day project, because I've got 3 freezers. I've got my 2 refrigerator freezers, and I've got my big chest freezer that I need to organize and get it a little more efficient for myself. Anyway, just a short video, just to show you what my husband brought me this morning. And we cut it up and we made some beautiful freezer meals with this pork tenderloin that was on sale. So we've got a lot of meals and it winds up being less than $1 in meat per person. So you all have a wonderful day, and thanks for hanging out with me in my kitchen. I will see you in the next video. And until then, thanks for watching.